spoonful of sugar?
Whiskey. I'll have whiskey in mine.
Okay. Well, when in Rome.
You've come to change my mind, to beat me into submission.
No, I've come because you misjudged me.
How do I misjudge you?
You look at me and you see some sort of Hollywood King Midas. You think I've got this empire and I want your Mary Poppins as just another brick in my kingdom.
And don't you?
That's all it was. Do you really think I'd sucker up to a crusty, stubborn dame like yourself for the past 20 years? Oh, I'd have saved myself the ulcer. Well, you expected me to disappoint you, and you made sure I did. I think life disappoints you, Mrs. Travers, and I think it's done that a whole lot. I think Mary Poppins is the only one in your whole life that hasn't.
Mary Poppins isn't real.
That's not true. No. She's as real as can be to my daughters and thousands of other children and adults too. She's always been there as a nighttime comfort to a heck of a lot of people.
Well then, where is she when I need her, I open the door to Mary Poppins, and who should I find standing there but Walt Disney?
Mrs. Travers, I'm so sorry. I had hoped this would be a magical experience for you and for all of us, and I've let you down, and in doing so I've broken a 20-year-old promise to my daughters. I've been racking my brain trying to figure out why this is so hard for you and I, and well, you see, I have my own Mr. Banks, and mine had a mustache.
Not true then that Disney created man in his own image?
No, but it is true that you created yourself in someone else's, yes? Have you ever been to Kansas City, Mrs. Travers? Do you know Missouri at all?
Can't say that I do. And as I've no intention of ever setting foot on American soil again, I'm afraid I never will.
Well, it's awfully cold there in the winters, bitter cold. And my dad, Elias Disney, he had a newspaper route there, deliver 1,000 papers twice a day, morning and evening edition. And my dad, he was a tough businessman. He was a save a penny any way you can kind of fella. So he didn't employ delivery boys, no. He used me and my older brother Roy. I was just 8 at the time, just 8 years old. And like I said, the winters were really harsh, and old Elias, he didn't believe in new shoes until the old shoes had worn completely through, so... But I swear, Mrs. Travers, sometimes the snow would be right over our heads, and it was like trudging through molasses, and the cold and the wet seeping through our clothes and our shoes, and skin peeling from our faces. And sometimes I'd find myself slumped down in the snow, just waking up. I guess I passed out, I don't know. And then it was off to school, and I was too wet and cold to figure out equations and things. And then it was time to go back out in the snow and get home before dark. And Mother would feed us dinner, and then it was time to go back out and do it all over again for the evening edition. You best be quick, Walt. You best get those newspapers on that patio and under that storm door, or Pop's gonna lose his temper, show you the buckle end of his belt again, boy. I don't tell you this to make you sad, Mrs. Travers. Really, I don't. I love my life. It's a miracle, really. And I love my dad. He was a wonderful man. But rare is the day that I don't think about that 8-year-old boy delivering newspapers in the snow and old Elias with that strap in his fist. And I'm just so tired, Mrs. Travers. I'm tired of remembering it that way. And aren't you tired too, We all have our sad tales, but don't you want to finish your story? Let it all go and have a life that's not dictated to by the past? It's not the children she comes to save, Mrs. Travers. It's their father. It's your father, Travers Gump.
I don't know what you think you know about me, Walter.
You must have loved and admired your dad so much to take his name.
It's
It's all about him, isn't it, Mrs. Travers? All of it, everything. Forgiveness, Mrs. Travers, is what I learned from your books.
I don't need to forgive my father. He was a wonderful man.
No. You need to forgive Ellen Goff. Life is a harsh sentence to lay down for oneself. Give her to me, Mrs. Travers. Trust me with your precious Mary Poppins. I won't disappoint you. I swear that everyone who goes into a movie house from Leicester Square to Kansas City, they will all see George Banks being saved. They will love him and his children. They will weep for his cares. They will wring their hands when he loses his job. And when he flies that kite, Mrs. Travers, they will rejoice. They will sing. And in movie houses all across the world, in the hearts and minds of my children and other children and their mothers and fathers for generations to come, George Banks will be honored. George Banks will be redeemed. George Banks and all that he stands for will be saved. Maybe not in life, but in imagination, because that's what we storytellers do. We restore order with imagination. We instill hope again and again and again. Trust me, Mrs. Travers. Let me prove it to you. I give you my word.
Enough.